You know, Russia has a fleet of nuclear submarines, which are as good as our own. China, in its own waters, is by now probably immeasurably superior to the United States. But also, and we see this with the attempts to shut down Russia's maritime trade, the so-called shadow fleet of non-Russian ships carrying Russian energy and goods. Because so far, these moves have been limited. They've been limited to action within our territorial waters. If these ships actually come into our territorial waters or try to enter our ports, and there have been a couple of occasions where, in that case, they have been seized. But it is being proposed, including in Sweden and in the Baltic states and by commentators elsewhere, that we should go much further than this. And, for example, in the Baltic, seize ships within the economic zones of Sweden and the Baltic states. Now, the thing is, the economic zones of Sweden and the Baltic states cover the entire central Baltic. Now, what that means is you are blockading Russia, St. Petersburg, and the Russian exclave of Kaliningrad by sea. You are, in effect, imposing a blockade. Well, it's not just that Russia has threatened, in that case, to fight, to sink Swedish or Baltic ships trying to do that. But of course, there have been messages from India saying, look, hang on a second. We would, since many of these ships are heading for India, we would regard this as piracy on the high seas, just as you would if we were to try to do it to your vessels. So you see that the problem is, and this is where the rules-based order becomes tangled up and falls over itself, that we claim to be guarantors of free navigation, free trade on the high seas, security of the high seas, and this has been the moral or legal argument between America and Britain bombarding the Houthis in the Red Sea and objecting to China's claims in the South China Sea. But actually, the Chinese, as the greatest maritime trading power now, have the strongest possible national interest precisely in keeping these sea routes open. It is us who are beginning to undermine, if you like, the entire basis of our claim to global leadership, hegemony, and to the defense of the rules-based order by trying to,